A new dawn of X. There's no doubt about it, the Krakoan era is legendary, a treasure trove of countless masterpieces and brilliant creative sparks. We still believe it stands as one of the greatest comic narratives of our time. Its storyline is so captivating that when we reached the endings of House of X and Powers of 10, watching Charles and Eric stand side by side on the carousel at the shore of our destiny, gazing skyward, as fireworks burst into— you know what? You can read this on your own. Well, there's no better way to start things up by messing up a little bit of the intro, but you can read that on your own. I just repeated myself again. I'm out of it today. Hey, it's Enigma, and welcome to Marvel Rivals. This is the beginning of Season 2 of the game, and what better way to celebrate than with some fireworks going off? This is crazy to think about because, well, going back to what was written on that little welcome note that you see first when you're popping up into the game, the House of X and Powers of 10 comic lines were incredible. They are the new standard when it comes to X-Men comics, and they couldn't have picked a much better time to bring in not just even more of the X-Men, but also to bring in one of the best mutants that was created. Well, during this, I am literally twisting every single sentence. You know what? It's actually fitting because you really can't describe a queen as elegant as Emma Frost. Okay, so I'm gonna be checking out Emma Frost in the training zone, but before I do that, there's one thing I gotta look at. Well, actually, there's a lot of things I gotta look at. Spider Oni. You gotta purchase the battle pass in order to get him, and this is a pretty cool skin, but I have to admit, the Retro X uniform looks really good on Psylocke. Nutrocker is a bit of a hit or miss. I kind of like it, but a lot of people online don't really vibe with it. You can't go wrong with a Retro X uniform on Magic either. Dude, the runway veil of Black Widow outfit is so cool. And what's crazy is that this is a direct translation to one of the DNA comic book covers of the Hellfire Gala comics. I wish I had one on me, but I might as well show off some of the other comic books that I have later on in the video. Well, would you look at her? She's all dressed up nice and fancy. Kudos to Luna Snow. Joe Fixit. Nice. Star Spangled Style. Salute. Immortal Weapon of Agamotto. Amazing. This dance partner costume for Cloak and Dagger is really nice. And of course, we can't really wrap things up with the skins without looking at what's on the store. And obviously, we have the Emma Frost X Revolution bundle and the King of Spartax Star-Lord bundle. This skin caused quite an uproar on X, but this is actually one of the more tame outfits that Emma Frost has ever actually worn. Yeah, but check out Star-Lord though. He looks incredible. All right, but now let us hop into the game and see what Emma Frost can do. Let's take a look at some of her abilities. So we got Telepathic Pulse, Fasted Fury, I really hope I said that right, Psionic Seduction, Diamond Form, Carbon Crush, Psychic Spear, Mind's Aegis, or Aegis? Again, I hope I pronounced that right. Crystal Kick, and Mind Link. Although, in order to use Mind Link, you need to be queued up with Magneto and Psylocke. Okay, so right now there's nothing in front of me within training, but I'm just trying to see what it is that she can do. So, first things first, her health bar, 650. It's pretty big. Now let's try using some of her abilities. So, that's nice. So it's a single ray, but if you look at the ammo meter, I'm gonna reload. It depletes very quickly. Damn, look at how fast it goes down. All right, what about her other ability? Okay, nice. Nice. All right, now I see it. So for her shield, she can control just how far she wants it and where exactly it's gonna go. So right up close, we can get something bigger, or we can also get something a little bit bigger from a bit more of a distance. And if we just want a little bit of cover, I can already think of some very creative uses with Emma Frost and her shield. What else do we got?
Exquisite.
The diamond form. This is legendary, and I'm guessing the other one... I'm guessing the other one is the grapple that I saw, well, that we saw in the trailer. I'm gonna have to queue somebody up just so I can see how it works. But in the meantime, let's take a look at her ultimate. Nice! Alright, let's cancel the shield. And we're gonna have to do some adjustments. We're gonna have to take a look at how she works in front of a target. Okay, so for this one, I decided to queue up with Iron Man, and if you read the comics, you would know, but for those who don't know, Iron Man and Emma Frost were married in the comic books. This isn't a spoiler, by the way, it's common sense by now, but it didn't last very long. Alright, in the meantime...
Mental domination.
Okay, I stepped back a little bit more just so I could see what it actually does.
Mind crush.
Ooh, that's nice. Alright, now let's see what her ultimate does. That is super badass. That is awesome. Alright, now I want to take a look at the ultimate with an entire line of Galactobots. That is awesome. Okay, so now I want to check out some of her moves in her diamond form. So let us... I had to do that, and also this. Nice. And then the rest looks like just hand-to-hand combat.
Look who's here. Your mind is mine. You were a better husband than fighter, Tony.
That was awesome. Okay, I gotta admit, Emma is a lot of fun, but I don't see myself picking her up all that often. But that's primarily because I play a lot of duelists. I don't play Vanguards all that often, but I am willing to learn the Vanguard position. But there is one last thing I want to do, and should be pretty obvious. I'm about to piss off everyone on X, and I don't care. Totally worth it. I had to buy the skin. This looks really cool. But I didn't forget, obviously, I'm going to be showing off some of the comic books that I have within the Hellfire Gala. I still need to get my hands on some of the issues, but in the meantime, this is what I got going on for me so far. Well, there have been 3 Hellfire Galas, well, as of the time I'm recording this video. Now, I still have a long way to go when it comes to collecting all of these covers, but... well, this is what I have so far. So first things first, my favorite X-Men is Rogue, and this is this is her Hellfire attire. These DNA comic book covers look really cool. They resemble pretty much what you're gonna see in a fashion magazine, which is very fitting because for Krakoa, the very first Gala was a major event. They still continue to be major events. Hopefully they make a comeback. Next up, I had to pick up Jean Grey. So this is from, again, DNA. And this is really, really amazing. I love what they ended up doing with her outfit. Because instead of doing the whole, like, standalone, well, I call it a standalone sundress look, they ended up going with a full-on bodysuit, but it still has the same shape as her regular superhero outfit. And of course, you cannot forget Storm. This looks very good. She looks like a straight up goddess in this outfit, and the cover does such justice to Aurora Storm. And here's something that's a little bit interesting about these comic book covers as well. Not only do they resemble the fashion magazines, but if you remember in one of my earlier videos in which I mentioned some of the little surprises that Marvel Rivals has. Just like how Magneto has his name written in the Krakoan language, there is a sentence, well, there are sentences written on these covers in the Krakoan language as well. Finding these is a nightmare, but it's well worth the treasure hunt. If you have not read the House of X and Powers of 10 comic books, or if you haven't even read the very first Hellfire Gala, I highly recommend that you check those comic books out. They are such a fun experience, and you don't need to worry about any of the continuity within those comic books. They are great to start out with. I always recommend those if you're starting out within the X-Men comic books. Huge shout out to Jonathan Hickman for even putting those storylines together. Jonathan Hickman is one of my personal favorite comic book authors. I really wish we could see more of his work in the X-Men, but he ended up moving on to doing the current run of Ultimate Spider-Man. I do hope he comes back though, because I really would like to see him work on more X-Men stuff. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and also subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on a video or a live stream. And if you would like to help support the channel, check out buymeacoffee.com/Enygma. Links for everything will be down in the description box below. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some Marvel Rivals to play, and as always, this is San Diego Shooting Star signing out.